Blackstone Audio presents George Washington's Military Genius by Dave R. Palmer. This book is read by Robertson Dean. Introduction. The first edition of this book appeared at the beginning of our national celebration of the bicentennial of the American Revolution. At that time, the prevailing historical description of the military aspects of the Revolution reflected an unsettled consensus. That was not surprising, for the way the story of the war was told had been evolving ever since the conflict itself had ended. The earliest books tended to glorify the Revolution and the men who fought it, especially George Washington. Parson Weems' biography is the epitome of this tradition. A beguiling storyteller, if not a reliably accurate one, Weems presented a star-spangled collage of contrived images pasted on a 4th of July poster: a chopped cherry tree, a dollar skimmed across a broad river, omnipotent frontiersmen, embattled farmers, freezing huts at Valley Forge, laden boats wallowing amid ice floes on the Delaware River, a determined trio of ragged bandsmen. The message was of the inevitable triumph of good over evil. Other writers did better. John Marshall and Washington Irving come to mind, but as a rule, histories published during the 19th century and into the 20th continued to portray Washington and the war in a stoutly heroic mode. They gave the American commander-in-chief high marks as a general, likening his strategy to that of the renowned ancient Roman general Fabius, who defeated the invading Carthaginians under Hannibal by refusing battle and eventually wearing them down. A dramatic change to that picture emerged in the opening decades of the 20th century as a good number of historians rebelled against the conventional wisdom, revisionists who painted both Washington and the war in quite different colors. Bleakness replaced glory in descriptions of military campaigns. Washington, they wrote, made amateurish mistakes and was simply lucky. He owed his eventual success more to the blunders of the British than to his own abilities. He was clearly a stumblebum general, impressive to be sure, but a stumblebum nevertheless. Around the middle of the 20th century, historians seemed generally to tire of the military side of the war and of Washington's performance as a soldier. They turned to long-neglected topics of the Revolutionary era, such as the political and societal. That shift resulted in a better balance to the overall depiction of the era, to be sure, but it left mostly unchallenged the thinking of many that, militarily, Americans had been more fortunate than capable. Consider the evaluations of Americans.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?